Ashley. I am back with another video and I'm super excited to be doing this one because it's a collab with Becky at A Place to Nest. She is one of my favorite YouTubers, and whenever I found her channel I thought, she is just like me. We are so like-minded and we love the same sort of content and creating the same kind of videos. She has homeschool, Disney, lifestyle, fitness, just so many different things that interest her. And that's what I love, is when there's a channel that just shows what people are interested in and how they live life and what they do. And I've learned so much from Becky, and she's a little bit ahead of me, like in the homeschool journey and things like that. And I have just learned so much from her. So we decided to do this collab together and I'm super excited. So before we get started, I want you to go down and find the link below and subscribe to Becky, and you will love her channel. So this collab is all about baby names, and we are talking about baby names that we love. Might be names that, you know, I might use, might not use. There's some names that I loved, I know I'll never use, but I wanted to share this. I think it's super appropriate because I am literally about 2 weeks out from delivering our 4th baby. This is a little boy, and he does already have a name. His name is Luke Thomas. And so that is a whole, like, it's not even that big of a story. It's just that I struggle with boy names so much more than girl names. And so I'm surprised that I have a list on my phone that's as long as it is, but it just, Luke was what felt right. And we kept coming back to that. And there's no, I think there is a relative on Kurt, who's my husband, Kurt's side of the family, whose name was Luke, but it really was just the sound of it. I think that with boy names, I really like them to sound like sweet and soft when they're a baby or a toddler, and then I think they need to sound more masculine and strong as they're getting older. And that's a really tough balance for me, to find one that works for both. So anyway, Luke worked for me, and I think Kurt and I just came back, we just kept coming back to that one. And Thomas is Kurt's middle name, and it's his father's first name, legal first name. So we wanted to honor him in that way, and this is kind of the men in Kurt's family, and so I think it works great. I love the sound of it, Luke Thomas, and my other son is named Liam, so I thought it was cute, you know, Liam and Luke, and I think it flows whenever we say it, you know, with our kids' names down the line. So I'll share with you what my kids' names are, so you can kind of get a feel for kind of what we like. Evie is my oldest, and her full name is Evie Kate, and we spell it E-V-Y. So I like to tell people it's like Chevy. It rhymes with Chevy. And so her name is Evie Kate. And my son is named William Mark. We wanted to name him after, I have so many Williams in my family. I mean, a ton. And that's also Kurt's grandfather's name. So we had a lot of incentive and motivation and all that to name one of our sons William. So William Mark is my dad's name. And then, so that's my son. Lindley Adele is my 3rd child. And Lindley is a little more trendy than I usually go. I think, you know, like, it's not like, I don't know, I don't want to say a name because that might offend somebody. You know, I feel like names that end in E, like I feel like that E sound, you know, Brinley, or you know, of course I can't think of Adelie, or, you know, I feel like the E sound has been really big in the last few years. And so I was on the fence. Lindley was born in 2013, and I was on the fence. I was like, oh, does that just sound too trendy? I don't know. But it just felt right. It just sounded cute to me. And so Lindley Adele is her name. It just flowed so cute and pretty. And so now we're having Luke. And so this collab is fun with Becky because I think it's just super interesting to hear what people's preferences are. And I can't really think of how I would describe my, like, baby name, I don't know, preferences. I think I like things that are different, but not, obviously not strange. And it's like, I feel like everyone says that, you know what I mean? Like, but I think you'll kind of get a feel for my style. And I will say this, I've gotten this question a lot from people asking if we are done having kids. Again, this is number 4. And I will never say never. Like, I just don't feel like I can say with like authority, like, oh yeah, absolutely, we're done. Like, I could never say that right now. I don't like to make emotional decisions, and I feel like when I'm pregnant is like the worst time to say like we are done, or you know, no, we're not, I'll have more. So I feel like I'm always open, and I don't know, we'll just see. And we adopted our son, and so we've become parents through adoption and also birth, and both are absolutely incredible. And so I don't know what the future holds. And so all that to say, I might be using 1 or 2 of these names. Who knows? It just depends. So anyway, these are on my phone, so I'm not being rude. I am just going to pull them up so I can keep my notes here. But I think you'll get an idea for my style. Okay, so we'll do boy names first. And the first one is Holden. Holden is my dad's middle name, and I think it is so strong, and oh, I love the name Holden. The reason I haven't used it, I just feel like I need to give my siblings a chance. Honestly, I have 3 younger siblings. My youngest sister has a daughter. She and her husband just welcomed their first child, and it was a little girl, so she didn't use Holden. But I don't know, I feel like that is a really, really cool family name for us, for my side of the family. I was like, oh gosh, I should probably leave that for someone else to use. So we're leaving Holden. Holden actually was going to be Luke's name. I say that like I sound super generous. I was going to take it and claim it. And I'll tell you what we were going to pair it with. But we just I don't know, I think we just felt differently about it as I got further along in my pregnancy. But Luke was going to be Holden Dietrich. And the reason for that is, first, you know, Holden is my dad's middle name. Dietrich would have been named after Dietrich Bonhoeffer. He's a hero of our faith, and Kurt and I, especially Kurt, has read so much about him, but we both deeply admire Dietrich Bonhoeffer, and he was a pastor in Germany during the 1940s and during World War II. And that's just a side note. You should look up Dietrich Bonhoeffer because his story is absolutely incredible. And so we really wanted to honor him. And I'm still like, there's a little bit of me, it's like, man, that would have been awesome. But who knows, we may have another son. So Holden Dietrich was going to be his name. And another reason for that is that the initials would have been HD. And that is my grandfather's, that's what he goes by, is HD. So that would have been cool. And now that I'm talking about it, I'm like, oh crap, I should probably like change my baby name, but I'm not going to. I already have monograms, so no. So the second baby boy name that I like is Elias. And I think it's a little like, it's like kind of different than Eli. I think Eli is really not, I love Eli, but Elias is, you know, just a little bit different. It like takes it kind of next level. So I like that. And also Walt Disney's middle name was Elias. So, I mean, if you know anything about me, like any Disney nod is like huge. Beckham. I love the name Beckham. Part of the reason is because I've always loved the movie Bend It Like Beckham, which is like super, I think I've talked about this. Yeah, in my London vlogs, I think I talked about that. How it's like, it's just so random. I love that movie, but I do. David Beckham, you know, British soccer player. I guess they would say football player over there, but anyway, famous athlete over in Britain. But not really because that, I just love the sound of it. I think it's just a really cool name. So Beckham is one that I really like. Leo, I really like the name Leo. I think it's just like, it's cute like for a baby, but then it's like strong and attractive for someone older. But Leo Lancaster, I just don't think I could do it. I think with our last name, and then it sounds similar to Liam, which is what we call my son. So Liam and Leo, I just didn't think I could do that, but I really love it. Theo, similar. I think I just really like that. And there's a girl variation of that I will share, but I think it's cute. And a girl that I went to high school with, I think, named her son Theo, and I've always just thought that's like the cutest name ever. So I like Theo. Andrew. I think Andrew is a very strong name. It's something that we considered for Luke. And I don't even hate the nickname Andy. I think Andy is like a super cute nickname because of Toy Story. I mean, hello. But we just, again, came back to Luke. So, but I do like Andrew. Just kind of solid, like, classic names. So, you know, you can kind of see I kind of go between like different and classic. And then the last one I have listed for a boy is Ari. I actually love that name, A-R-I. I think it's just like cool. I don't know. I just think it's a cool name. Okay, so for girls, I have a few more on my girl list because those are just easier for me, I feel like. I've always thought the name Winter for a girl, like probably for a middle name, I just think that's like really cool. I just have kind of this like weird streak in me like that's like would do that. Name my daughter Winter or her middle name Winter. I don't know. It's like weird. I probably would never follow through with it. I like to think that I would, but I just think it sounds cool. Athena. I have a really close friend and she is Greek. She's one of my childhood best friends and she named her daughter Athena. She's Greek and I just think it's such a pretty name. I've always thought from the time we were little, we would talk about like baby names and because that was just us, you know, when we were like in 4th grade, we talk about baby names. And I remember her saying then like that she loved that name and she ended up naming her daughter Athena. So I think it's beautiful. I love that name. Charlotte. Charlotte was going to be our girl name if this baby was a girl. Well, I say that it was between two. It was between Charlotte and another one, but I've always just thought I needed a Charlotte. I'll be honest. Especially once William and Kate, you know, went down that road, I was like, oh my gosh, I just think it's so soft and beautiful and feminine. And I love it. So who knows, might end up with Charlotte one day. Thea or Thea, I just always thought was so pretty. It's a variation of Theo, which is, you know, the boy name that I like. And I just think it's really soft and pretty and different. And I think the pronunciation would probably be like the most frustrating thing. Is it Thea or Thea, you know? And I do try to take in mind like how much of a challenge it'll be for my child, you know? So, but I love it. I love Thea, however you want to say it. Eliza. This name has grown on me so much. And I've always liked it. I've always thought it was really different and pretty. I grew up with my grandfather watching what's it called, My Fair Lady. I would watch that with my grandfather whenever we would visit, and I just always loved the name Eliza. And after, you know, hearing it so much in My Fair Lady, and I just think it is now like it is so cute. And that's another one I'm like, that could end up being one I use one day. But I love Eliza. Anastasia. Anastasia was actually on my list of middle names for this baby. And the big reason for that is because it means resurrection or to rise again or to stand again. And I love that concept because this baby was coming after our miscarriage. And so I loved the idea of kind of honoring that and also just reminding us of God's faithfulness and how, you know, we have walked through that storm and that journey and he's been faithful and now I'm pregnant again. And so it was going to be kind of a nod to that. So I love the name Anastasia. I think it's beautiful. I would probably use it as a middle name more than a first name. Yeah, I would use it as a middle name. Hazel. Hazel's actually a family name. That was my great-grandmother's name. And I actually have an Aunt Hazel. And I think it's one of those that's a little bit obscure, but it's becoming more known or more used, I should say. And I think it's really, that Z sound, I think that's with Eliza and Hazel. I like that Z sound in a name. So maybe that's what it is. But it's a family name too. So I've always heard it and always loved it. So super pretty. Poppy. Okay, I loved the name Poppy because it was such a popular British name. I've loved that name for years. And then Trolls comes out and it's like, no. Like, I can't do that to a child. You know, I mean, I love Anna Kendrick. I love Trolls, don't get me wrong, but it's, you know, I can't use it. So I think every time I would call my child, I would think of my grandfather, which again, not a bad thing. I just, you know, associate, like, I think that name is so special for my grandfather that it would be kind of like separating that out from my child too. You know what I mean? But super cute. Gemma with a G, so G-E-M-M-A. That's another popular British name, and I really, really like it. I think it's super cute. I think I've said super cute like probably 50 million times in this video, but I've always thought like even the name Jenny with a G, I think that's really cute. Just something different to spell it with a G, but Gemma I think is really pretty. Sadie was a big front runner when my second daughter, Lindley, when I was pregnant with her. If you hear thumping on my ceiling, that's my kids playing right above me. Sadie was a front runner for Lindley, so we ended up going with Lindley, but I really loved Sadie. Genevieve, I love the name Genevieve. I have loved it for years, and I think it is long. I think with our last name, that would be a challenge. It'd be a lot for a kid to learn to write and navigate. But Genevieve, I think, is absolutely beautiful. And I guess she could go by Jenny for short with a G. That'd be really cute. That would combine a lot of things that I like. But I just think it's different and cute, and I love it. It's also beautiful. To me, Genevieve, like that just sounds really pretty. Like that sounds so bad. Like a pretty person. Like that has nothing to do with it. I just think it just sounds beautiful and soft, and I just picture like Genevieve. I just have, I don't know what I'm picturing when I say that, but I love the sound of it. So those are my baby names that I really like. I don't know if I'll end up using those. Who knows what the future holds. So you may have just gotten a preview for what future children could be named, or Luke might be our grand finale. I don't know. But hopefully you kind of enjoyed hearing names that I like, and maybe it gave you some ideas if you're expecting and you just want a different kind of list. And again, I so appreciate Becky doing this with me, and I can't wait to see what names she likes. And I hope you'll subscribe to her channel because she is so much fun. And I will tune in and talk with you guys soon. So be sure to subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.